Well, Merry Christmas and welcome to another edition of Te Akau TV and on what is Christmas Eve. How are you going, Jamie?
Good, thank you, Hamish. Yep, Merry Christmas to everybody out there and all the best to everyone and their families. And yeah, we've had a couple of good days leading into Christmas and New Year, a couple of winners at Matamata yesterday and a couple of winners at Taranaki. So hopefully we can keep the momentum up as we head into Boxing Day and New Year's Day.
Absolutely. It's a busy time of year. And obviously you're downplaying the news or your big news from earlier in the week with obviously your exit to Hong Kong. So congratulations there, mate. It's very exciting times for you. What's the loose plan there? I know obviously Mark Walker will be returning kind of at some point in the early side of 2022. Just want to touch on what the plans are from here.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, pretty exciting opportunity and something that was just too good to turn down, to be fair. So it's an opportunity to set ourselves up for the rest of our lives, hopefully. And Mark will be coming home, I think, February, and we'll spend a few months together. And I'll head up in April, May. I'll have to do a few weeks quarantine, 3 weeks quarantine up there when I get there. So we'll just firm up exactly when I go a bit closer to the time, but we're working through all of that now. And I guess for the listeners out there, it's it's a completely different concept to racing a horse in New Zealand. You've got to be a member of the Hong Kong Jockey Club to then be, put on the ballot for a permit to import a horse. And unless you've got a permit to import a horse, you can't race a horse. So it's a completely different system, but something that works very well up there. It's going to be a big challenge, but yeah, it's not like you can just roll up there and take your Te Akau horses and Te Akau owners with you. It's a completely fresh start, and you're employed by the Hong Kong Jockey Club. So yeah, it's going to be new. It's going to be a bit of a culture shock. I'm not sure if I'm scared or excited or what to think, but certainly looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Absolutely, and we'll be keeping a close eye on you as you travel up there, and obviously with the return of Mark Walker back to New Zealand, it's going to be an exciting time for the team here as they adapt as the team adapts under a new trainer as well. So watch this space. It's going to be exciting on both sides of the Pacific, I guess. So moving down, I guess we've got a big week of racing coming up. Obviously, the Ellerslie Christmas Carnival kicks off on Sunday at Ellerslie. It's going to be quite a different day to what it has been in the past under the red light or the red traffic light setting with only 900 people on course. But then we'll loop back around to the New Year's Day racing where we switch back to the orange traffic light status, and that should allow vaccinated people on course. And hopefully we'll get a bit more of that atmosphere back at headquarters again, which is going to be great.
Yeah, Boxing Day will be a bit depressing, really, without the crowd, as it's such an iconic day with such great racing. But as you say, we've just got to play by the rules. And yeah, certainly looking forward to New Year's Day. And just going back and touching on Mark Walker, who is coming back from Singapore, a 9-time champion trainer across both countries. So Te Akau is going to be in great hands as we plan for the future, and it'll keep running exactly the same as it has. I don't think there'll be too many changes, and I think owners and everybody concerned can have full confidence that their horses are going to be in the best of hands, and that we'll continue to get the results that Te Akau have become accustomed with getting in recent times. So absolutely no reason why things won't carry on as they have been, and I think everybody can look at Mark and know what a champion he is, and certainly looking forward to welcoming him back to New Zealand.
Absolutely. So I guess just quickly touching on some of the winners from last week. So on Saturday at Te Rapa, we had Outfit and Pin Me Up, who was tipped by Sam Burgesson on the show last week. On Monday, we went to Akau, where we had a couple of the 2-year-olds line up with Fellini. Time Flies ran a close second. Moved down to Wednesday at New Plymouth, where you had 2 winners, Lord Cosmos and the recently syndicated Burgundy Cote de Burn, which was great to see him win after some impressive trials. And then, of course, moving down to Thursday, the horse that we spoke a while ago, Felicien, the best maidener in the country, got the chocolates for the team, and that was followed by an impressive performance from Wairau Cove later in the card. Do you want to touch on the performances of a couple of those quickly?
Yeah, so I thought Tarapa last Saturday, a couple of really nice 3-year-old fillies. Outfit will progress to the Royal Stakes on New Year's Day, and we're going to try and sneak Pin Me Up into the Karaka Million. She'll run at Ellerslie on the 9th of January, so she's a 3-year-old. She's getting ready for the mile race. So 2 really nice fillies there. Fellini was good, qualified for the Karaka Million. Time flies. Just lacked a little bit of experience, didn't know how to put those horses away, but he'll be a really quick improver, and you can follow him very closely as we lead into the Karaka Million at Ellerslie on the 9th of January. Lord Cosmos was good, really good. He made up a lot of ground. I know the winner was fainting, but his sectionals were really encouraging, so he heads to the Karaka Million probably without another run. The maiden was good, Cote de Boone. He'll go on with it. And yeah, as you say, Felician, she was really good from back in the field yesterday, and that was pretty cool that we're able to win the race that was sort of named in the Hong Kong farewell. So that was really cool. And Wairau Cove's an impressive horse, a full brother to Carmelas, with a lot of upside. So keep a close eye on him.
Awesome, and we'll just quickly touch on some of the runners on Boxing Day. So we're going to have a look at 4 venues: Awapuni, Ellerslie. You've got a few horses down in your hometown of Wingatui, and then we'll look across the Tasman over to Dubin to the 2-year-old race over there. So we're going to start in Awapuni, race 3, the Aberdeen on Broadway 1200, rating 65 benchmark. We've got Mohawk Brave for Fortuna Racing with Niranjan Palmer on board, drawn barrier 8.
Yeah, happy with him. He's a progressive horse. His first win was great. He's had a couple of little problems, just niggly little things. So we gave him a bit of time, trialled him, heads to this race in good shape off the back of some good work. And I think he's one of our better ones for Sunday.
Good. And moving down to race 5, we've got 2 horses lining up in the More FM 1200 Open Handicap. First of which is Need I Say More from barrier 6 with Jonathan Parks on board.
Yeah, Need I Say More's sort of been out of form a bit in the South Island, but I've been really happy with him since he's been back up here. The old firm are back together, Parks and Need I Say More. Bo, as we know him. So really looking forward to seeing how it goes. He's got that nice soft draw. He'll punch up and be on the speed. And if he's anywhere like he was as a 3-year-old, he's going to be right in the thick of the finish.
And top brass with the apprentice Niranjan Palmer on board from barrier 1.
Yeah, good winner last time at Matamata here on his home track. First time up into open company back then. He's got the draw. He's got the claim. He's going to race up on the speed, and he's going to give himself every chance. He's a good little racehorse. He'll be right in the thick of the finish.
Absolutely. And moving down to race 8, the Manawatu Standard Summer Cup Open Handicap over 1,550 metres, a bit of a strange distance there. Perfect scenario from barrier 11 with Courtney Barnes on board.
Yeah, he was a good 3-year-old last year. Just struggled to find his form a little bit early in the season, but I was really pleased with the way that he finished off at Awapuni last time when Joe rode him. Up to the 1550 should suit him. Unfortunately, he's drawn a bad gate. He's probably going to get back a little bit. We'd like to try and get him up in the race if we can. He's down on the weights, but certainly watch him if he has a bit of luck in running.
Great. And moving back up the country to headquarters in race 2, the Civic Contractors 1100. It's a 2-year-old set weight and penalties affair. First up, we've got Dynastic with Opie Boston on board.
Really nice colt. Got a lot of time for him. He was, gorgeous yearling. He's in the Colt Syndicate. He tried really well at Rotorua. Work's been solid. It's drawn a bit sticky in 8, but Opie up. He'll be sort of midfield with a bit of cover and could be finding the line very strongly. I'm not sure. He's going to be a really interesting runner. He'll be the standout in the birdcage. I'm not sure if he's good enough to win, whether he just lacks a little bit of experience yet, but confident that he's ready to run well.
Great. And Grayson Gray with Danielle Johnson on board, drawn barrier 6.
Yeah, really happy with her. Work was first class on Tuesday morning. I think she's improved off that run, and important to note too with these 2-year-olds, race day experience is just so important, and she certainly has improved with that start at Tiaraha where she was narrowly beaten by I Choose You. So she goes into the race in good shape. She's ready to run well. I think she's probably the pick of our runners up there on Sunday.
Great. And the boys get paid runner, If I Get Paid from barrier 10 with Craig Grills on board.
Yeah, she's a nice filly. Trials have been good. Draws bad. We just need to hope for a little bit of luck in running. We'll just sort of see how she jumps away. If she looks like she can get up on the speed, we'll probably ride a positive. If she jumps a little bit slow, then we'll just go back and she'll run on. So another one to watch. We've got 3 nice 2-year-olds in this race, and she certainly won't disgrace herself.
Great. And moving down to race 5, the Jamison Park 8 Carat Classic for the 3-year-old fillies over 1,600 metres. We've got last start winner Ballon Rouge with OP Boston on board.
Yeah, Ballon Rouge is going well. She won the Eulogy last time. She's got the sticky barrier, drawn the outside in a small field. Probably roll forward a little bit from there. But she doesn't seem to have taken any harm from her run at Palmy and will present up there in good order.
Great. And moving down to race 6, the Shaw's Wire Ropes Uncle Remus Stakes. It's another 3-year-old race, set weight and penalties over 1,400. 2 runners lining up, the first of which is on the bubbles, John Barrier 8 with OP Boston on board.
Yep, I think we're all pretty happy with his first up run, Hazy, weren't we? So goes into the race in good shape. Back to Ellerslie, where he operates so effectively. Unfortunately, he's still up in the weights there with the set weights and penalties. Going to carry a fair bit of weight, but he's in good shape. He's never finished further back than second, and he'll run well again. My only word of caution there would be the little second up theory off the back of that nice first up run. That's my only concern with how he may go there on Sunday.
And where does he likely head between now and the Karaka Million after this race?
Well, just see how he fares. There's the option of running him on the 9th in a 3-year-old 1,500. There's also a 3-year-old 1,400 at Awapuni the day before, or we could just give him an exhibition gallop or a trial or something like that to keep him up to the mark. So get through Sunday, and then we confirm all of that up.
Good as gold. And Sophisticado, John Barrier 12, ran home quite nicely last start with Danielle Johnson on board carrying 58.5.
Going really well. Work's been good. Him and On the Bubbles have been working up together. He was great at Te Rapa last time from back in the field, first race of the day, where it's always hard to make ground. Again, drawn poorly, which is frustrating. He's going to be back. He's going to be hitting the line strong, but the barrier does make it difficult for him.
Great. And speaking of bad draws, you've got a couple of absolute Barry Crockers in race 7, the Stella Artois 1,500 championship final. Image of You from barrier 18 and Campion Nessa from barrier 16.
Yeah, very, very frustrating. Both progressive mares, similar profile to Mai Tai last year, who won this race down in the weights on the way through, but does make it really hard from the barrier. But in saying that, this is horse racing and funny things do happen. So they could jump and have a bit of luck and end up in a beautiful position. We just don't know. So we're willing to give, have a throw at the stumps for 90 grand. Both of them have worked well during the week, and with luck and running, they've got a big chance.
And of course, Image of You is on the quick backup from Te Rapa last week as well. So moving down to race 8, the Hallmark Stud Handicap, some really nice horses lining up here. It's an open handicap over the 1,200, first of which we've got Festivity from barrier 5 with Opie Boston on board.
Yep, happy with her. She didn't have much luck in the spring tracks and bad rides. Just a bit frustrating there. She's a quality mare. She's trialled twice. Happy with her. She's got the soft draw and she's got OP on, so she's got a few things in her favour. She'll jump and put herself up and behind the speed. Should be a really nice chance.
Great. And Romantic Lady from barrier 11 with Craig Girls on board.
She was awesome at Otaki last time. Just missed in a thriller. She's got the awkward draw. She's going to need luck and running. But if she gets any breaks, she's a consistent mare that's fully fit now and can run well.
And Vamos BB, of course, won this race last year from barrier 4 with Danielle Johnson on board.
Yeah, that was a bit frustrating last year with the disqualification. But look, we're 12 months on and we're here and we're trying to win it again for Brenton Cherry. And Faith, she's got the soft draw down in the weights. Any rain or any given the track would be a big help, but I don't think there's much forecast. One thing that is in her favour, we do believe that she's better right-handed, and she obviously hasn't been able to do any racing that way with Auckland in lockdown. So I think she's going to enjoy getting back to HQ.
Absolutely. And moving down to the big race of the day, the time-honoured Zabeel Classic. It's obviously race 9. Cambridge Stud sponsors the race. So weight for age over 2,000 metres. We've got who I've touted the most unluckiest horse in the country not to win a Group 1. Pre-defer from barrier 12. It would be nice to get one for him.
Is it? Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Maybe we can get the most unlucky maidener out of maidens yesterday. We might be able to get him out of, maybe get a Group 1 for his CV there on Sunday. He's going really well. Work's been solid. Unfortunately, he's drawn wide, but might not be the worst place for him. He can step a little bit slow sometimes. He needs to be 3 deep improving from the half mile, and if he can get in that train, he's got to be a chance. But it's a really good field. He usually finds one better in these sorts of races. So whatever he does, he'll be right there. But whether he's got the class to win it, I'm not sure.
Absolutely. And moving down the country to Wingatui, we start kick off in race 6, the Grand Casino 2 and 3-year-old set weight and penalty 1200. We've got Irish Red from barrier 13 with Rohan Nadu on board.
Yep, happy with her. She's coming out of 1,000 guineas where she didn't cop the soft track. She did a nice quiet trial on the poly. Drawn awkward, 13. I think we'll try and punch forward a bit from there. She won her maiden well at Riccarton up on the speed. Rohan rides well. Yeah, got to be a good chance.
In race 7, the Alleviate Administration Hazlitt Stakes. It's an open handicap. One of the old favourites, Summer Monsoon, lines up from barrier 4 with Jason Laking on board.
Yeah, he's in good shape. Probably shouldn't have run him on the middle day at Riccarton there where he ran 6th, but look, he's an older horse and the run didn't hurt him, so he's trialled up well. He's got to carry a bit of weight, but he's earned that. He's drawn 4. He's a horse that you can't really take up a position on, so you can't really use that draw to hold his spot and trail because he just doesn't relax that well. So he's probably going to be midfield with a bit of cover and getting to the outside, and hopefully shows that turn of foot that he had in the stewards. He's got to be right in the thick of it if he can do that.
Absolutely. And I guess next up we move across the Tasman to Dubin, which is quite an interesting one. I don't think we've ever had a runner in Australia on Boxing Day before. So we have got the 2-year-old Bright Blue Fastnet Rock filly, Bright Blue Sky, lining up in the Group 3 Magic Millions BJ McLaughlin Stakes from barrier 7 with Tommy Berry on board. Yeah,
really happy with her. I think that certainly not under my watch have we had a runner there in the summer. We've had plenty of runners there in the winter. But yeah, first runner there in the summer. So Bright Blue Sky is targeting the Magic Millions on the 15th of January. This is her prep run for that. She's travelled over really well. She had a trial in Sydney, trialled well, ran 3rd. Work's been solid since, heads into the race in good shape. The favourite for the Magic Millions is Coolangatta, who's $1.30 shot. So it's going to be hard to beat her. But happy with Bright Blue Sky, and I think she's ready to give them a bit of cheek. She'll run well.
She's got a similar profile to Avantage, doesn't she? In terms of
she's quite the same stallion. A lot of similarities in their type and their attitude. But yeah, really happy with her. She's coming along well, and hopefully we can get a bit more money in the bin to qualify for the Magic Millions there on the 15th.
Fantastic. Well, I guess Sam Burgesson tipped us a winner last week with Pin Me Up. Can you go one better this week?
I will go Grayson Gray in the 2-year-old race at Ellerslie there. I think off the back of her work on Tuesday, hopefully she's going to be a really good chance.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to next week, very busy schedule of racing. So I think we go pretty much daily: New Plymouth, Arawa Park, Taupo, Hastings, and then back to headquarters at Ellerslie on New Year's Day. Are there any horses we can keep an eye out for next week?
Yeah, so are we going to do anything early next week, or should I just run through them quickly here? What do you want to do there?
Happy for you to run through them if you want to. We might touch back, or we might loop back on before New Year's Day or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think I'll just have a look at my bits of paper here. If I was a punting man at Road, so we'll go Taranaki first on the 27th. Burgundy Rose will run well. Savage Silk and Like a Star, one of those will run down there. And then Rotorua the following day. Got some nice horses in race 3, the 74-14, 3 nice chances in there. She's a Thinker, Miss Aotearoa, Lightning Field, they will all run well. Flat Track Body with Opion in the 4th, he's going to be a nice chance. He's knocking on the door. And we've got Shepherd's Delight in the last at Rotorua in race 8. She had an exhibition gallop here yesterday. She worked really nicely. She's an interesting runner. She's got a rating of 77, but she's eligible to run in a 65. With her 3-year-old and sex allowance, she's carded to carry 62.5. We've put Palmer on. He's going to claim down another 4, so she'll carry 58.5. Should be a really interesting runner there at Rotorua on the way to the Wellington Guineas. So certainly have a good look at her at Rotorua on what day of the week is that? That must be Tuesday, the 28th.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for the update there. And that's kind of us for this part of the year leading up to Christmas. Do you have a wee Christmas message for the viewers out there, and obviously the staff and owners and connections throughout what has been kind of a bit of a tumultuous last 6 months with all of these restrictions and movements of horses and people and everything else?
Yeah, I'd firstly just like to say a big thank you to all of the staff, both here at Te Akau Racing in Matamata and at Te Akau Stud out at the farm. Huge effort, that everybody's put in through pretty testing times and a lot of uncertainty with COVID and whether we're racing and what we're doing. But everybody's just got in and done their job, and it's not to be underestimated the reliance that we have upon importation of, well, not import, well, getting staff from overseas, I guess is a good way to put it. The reliance that we have on probably Indian staff, and we get a lot of riders from Malaysia, and we would have had people come down from Singapore. So we've been really restricted with the sort of staff that we've been able to get, and we've been under the pump a little bit. But not one person has sort of surrendered. They've all put their hand up and got on with the job. So a big thank you to everybody there as we continue to work hard through Christmas and New Year, which is just part of it for us at the moment. As it is every year, we're putting on the show for all of the holiday makers as we try and increase wagering and get this great industry of ours back on steady ground. So as I say, big thank you to the staff and to the owners who have been so patient. I know it's been frustrating that they haven't been able to get along to the stables or get to the races or attend owners events or all of those sorts of things because of these COVID restrictions. But hopefully, we're not too far away from really getting back into it and having the experience on course that everybody loves when the horses are winning. So stick with us. Hopefully we've got some really nice chances in the next couple of months as the tracks firm up and the horses get a bit more mature, particularly the 2-year-olds. So yeah, a very Merry Christmas to everybody and their families, and hope to have a safe and happy holiday period.
So there you go. Thanks for that, Jamie, and Merry Christmas to everyone out there. We'll catch you again sometime soon.